I'm back. That's right, it's me, Bob on the Knob. Back once again to bring you global independent rock and metal. Each Knobcast will be 1 hour dedicated to the band I'm interviewing. It's time to get the show started, so sit back and relax. It's time for the Knobcast. Yeah, buddy. Oh man, it's official. It's effing. It's radio. I'm back on the air again. I'm not supposed to be here today, but I am, because I've got very special guests on my Zoom call today. My longtime friend, Mr. Chris Keys, and his brand new project, the Engineer Society Project. What's up, Chris? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing really good, Bob. Really good. Nice to be back connected with you, brother.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute since you and I have talked, for sure.
But I reached out to you, and I actually showed the guys the video that you did for us for the song called "Fly on the Wall" off our new EP, and they love it, man. We can't wait.
Excellent.
To start spreading it around.
Excellent. Yeah, man. You are pretty notorious for randomly calling me and be like, "Dude, I got a video project for you," and I'm like, "Okay, what is it this time?" It's always something cool, and it's always something different, a bit outside of my wheelhouse. So it's like, yeah, try this and try that, and we'll send stuff back and forth. Dude, it's been 14 years since I first met you, dude. Can you believe it? Like, time flies, bro.
So you have to refresh my memory. Where did we first meet? I forget.
We first met, you were playing with Empire at Joker's Wild, bro.
Oh, dude, I actually talked to Mike a little while ago, and there's me and him, we agree on some things, we don't agree on one thing, but there was a song I did there called "My American Dream," and
I love that song, bro,
because I like that song.
Dude, there's a couple songs in there that are really great. As you heard, dude, I always start every show. I've started every show for the last, I don't even know how many years now, with "Show Begins" by Empire, because that riff just, rocks, man. And it gets me pumped up for the show,
Nice.
So obviously with a new project here, the Engineered Society Project, to be exact. You want to introduce me to the cast of crew you got here?
I would. First and foremost is the star of our show. His name is Jojo Brown. We call him Bettis. That's his stage name. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jojo Brown.
What's going on, guys? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you, bro.
Yeah. Don't forget about Timmy.
I know.
Right.
Timmy. The foundation of our band. This is his band. He started it. He's had everybody from Tim Ripper Owens to a whole cast of greatness. And we are at the same great level. Ladies and gentlemen, Timothy Moss T-Bone.
All right. Thanks for having me, and thank you for all the help you've given us so far there, Bob. So.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely, dude. When it comes to Chris, bro, I do anything for him. He's always had my back, always supported me. It's very symbiotic relationship. We've always supported each other, helped each other out. And it's good. And it's so great to hear that you guys are going out on tour. And we'll talk about that for sure. But let's talk about Engineered Society Project. Where the heck did that name come from? What does that mean?
Okay, well, I'll take the blame for that. The concept for the band was founded in Jerusalem, Israel, when I was there. And at the time, this was back in 14, 15, I think, when I was in Israel. And there's a lot of things going on in the U.S. where I kind of felt like that the government was doing things to engineer a society outcome. There was things that they were doing, and I don't really get into politics and stuff, but it was obvious that things were happening, and so I felt like that maybe naming the band the Engineered Society Project, because I think sometimes this country is just kind of a project, and so I named the band that and came up with the concept, and wanted to spin a positive message for the band at a time when there's so much other discontent and everything. We're not a political band, so we just that's the way it was started. And if you listen to our music and read the lyrics, it's fairly clear.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I got to give you something here. Our drummer is texting me, and for some reason he can't get into the meeting. He's getting the single invalid meeting ID or something like that.
That's weird.
I was able to get on it easily.
Yeah, I don't know. Not really sure. I don't see anybody trying to enter the chat or anything. I have
Can I invite him from here? Or
maybe, I don't you could try, certainly.
yeah, let me just try to.
Yeah, what the heck? Sometimes this technology stuff is for the birds, man.
Yeah.
It works great until it doesn't. So, Chris, what made you like stumble upon these guys? How did you find the Engineered Society project? Because you guys are based out of like Houston, right?
Yeah, I was actually just about to, as Tim was talking, what he's talking about was actually inspirational to me. And I was all of a sudden, I found myself on a sinking ship. I was in a band in Portland, Oregon, and it all sort of blew up in my face. People were going crazy. And first off, Portland, Oregon is a crazy place, man. And it's actually the wildest state in this country. So I'm all of a sudden in the middle of this chaos, and I found their ad, man. I looked them up, and it looked like a really cool thing. But really, what Tim is sort of like how Tim represents it, some of the things he's talking about in his music, I could actually really resonate with. And I thought that, and I still think today, as we develop, like right now, we're still recording. We're starting to record our sophomore release. And I feel like where Tim is coming from, I sort of like am meeting him in the middle. I have some views about things that are going on and think corruption or different things like that. And I really think we sort of really blend together well. JoJo as well. When I immediately, when I met JoJo and from like square one, we bounce ideas off each other, and it's immediate. Right. And the thing is, like, when I walked in the room and I auditioned, we actually wrote a lot of the material immediately. So you know me, I've been a nomad. I've been traveling. I had a band in India, and I look for, there's magic here. There's definitely some magic vibe.
Yeah, man. Well, I've always considered you a damn fine musician, and some of the songs that you've written, both in your solo works and among all the bands that you've been in, dude, they resonate so soundly with me. And I think of, other artists like a Peter Gabriel, and I'm like, man, that sounds, he'll do a song, and I'm like, man, that really reminds me of Chris's like pattern or idea, like, just, it's cool, bro. It's cool to see you doing yet another project, and this time you guys are headed overseas, which is so rad, bro, because I know you're a nomad. What about the rest of you guys? Have you guys, JoJo and Tim, have you guys, and Shaka, looks like Shaka has joined us finally.
Hey, I don't know if you guys can see me.
Oh, we cannot see you, but we can hear you loud and clear.
Shaka,
Wow.
You look so different. I just saw like a picture of like a stop sign person.
Start your video there.
What's up with my video?
There's a button that says stop video. It probably has a red line through it. So you need to shut that red line off and show us your pretty face.
Oh, he hit the audio one instead.
Yeah, I was just on here a couple weeks ago and it's working fine, and it's just I don't know, it changes or something.
Yeah, man, technology is we were just talking about that actually.
It's corrupted.
It's corrupted technology. It's cool. No worries.
Yeah.
No worries.
I'll try to figure it out.
Yeah. No worries. Hi, hello. Well, welcome to the conversation. We're talking, of course, with Engineered Society Project from Houston, Texas. Call yourself a high energy 80s genre rock band. I totally get those vibes from the song, that I worked on, which is Fly on the Wall, and of course the others. People can check that stuff out, of course, on the streamings and the YouTubes and the band camps and all the places. What how do you guys feel about all that? I mean, I'm an older dude. I'm 44, so like my first job ever was a record store. So like tangible stuff really mattered to me then. nowadays I don't care as much, but I'll still go buy a record if it's the right album, you know? How do you guys feel about that?
I still prefer it, especially if I go to see a band, know who they are or anything. Either though I won't pop their CD in or their vinyl, I like to have something tangible of theirs.
Yeah.
It's like a trophy of some sort or memorabilia. But I think streaming for me personally, it is very easy. That's how I find new music.
It's so easy. It is. It is.
But it is easy to kind of look over things and take the music for granted because it's so easy to access. Because I remember having to be able to, I have to purchase multiple CDs because I would play them out and scratch them up and then I have to buy it again.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Or you go back like my generation, man, recording something off of the radio that mattered so much, and you were praying, oh, please don't talk over this one, please don't talk over the beginning of this song, please, so I have the right mix, you know. And it's like, you know, you just hoped and prayed that, like, because the album was the album, you get the album and it might not be good, you know. Now you can just get stuff every, you know, any time you get a single, you get an album, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't know, man, it's definitely a different generation for sure.
Approach, definitely, especially if you're the musician trying to put it out.
Right.
But I remember back then, I never was disappointed by any album I purchased. It was usually a single that got me on the radio or whatever, and then I would purchase the album, and then it was just like from beginning to end, it was a trip, you know, a roller coaster ride. They're going to take you through some type of journey. Now it almost seems as if the single is the best song, and when you listen to the album, it's like, wait a minute, like this is the only song I like or whatever.
Right. Well, singles are definitely a better methodology for putting out music these days. Like, people don't want to hear a full record; they want to get that one song right now. They want it now, and they want to hear it right this second, and then they're on to the next thing. You know, it is really that way.
Yeah,
which is a shame, you know, because there are certainly albums in my collection that are, you know, themed albums where if you don't listen to it front to back, you're not getting the same exact experience if you listen to it, you know, song by song by song. It's a thing that lives and breathes unto itself. It's just, you know, it's, man, I feel like an old man. Sometimes like, get off my lawn, God damn it.
No, I mean, it just shows that we grew up in a time when music was different.
It mattered, bro. Mattered so much to me growing up. Music mattered so much. Getting that album before my friends and being able to be the one and be like, I got it. I'll come over and we'll tape it. We'll dub it. We'll share, you know.
We all chill and jammed it and just kind of, you know, wigging out over something.
Man. Exactly.
It's like, hey, check out this album. I just sent it to you. You know, and
yeah, it was so much more communal. Like, it was actually a thing. You had to get together with your buddies. Like, yo, let's all listen to this.
Yeah,
that was a hardcore, like a punk rock. My friend Saul made me like mixture of tapes, and he put them all together. And man, it just like you both just said, it meant so much to me. And the hardcore scene was really about being at the show, and then taking that person's music home and living with it, and it was underground too. So I felt very I felt like our thing was unique. So I was really grateful.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was such a different atmosphere or thought process behind like trading tapes and making sure music was heard. Now it's sort of like, yeah, it's on Spotify. Here's the link. Like, I don't know. It doesn't have that same feeling, which is whatever. It's all good. I mean, we got to grow and evolve. It's just weird that music, which is such a, you know, was such a tangible thing for so many years. And, you know, I kind of akin it to, you know, the SAG-AFTRA strike is going on because of streaming, and then people are not getting paid by streams. Well, the same thing is happening in the music industry. It's just very difficult, I think, there's no union in the music industry, but the same thing is happening. There's these streams that are getting billions of streaming, and the artist is getting like $100, and it makes no sense to me. Like, how does that work? Like, you just stream that a billion times, and even if I got a penny every time you streamed it, I'd have $1 billion. Like, I'm not that great at math, but like, come on.
Yeah, that aspect of it, I don't truly understand. It almost seems like you have to be very in tune with all the different streaming platforms, even social media platforms.
Absolutely. Because they all do it. Yeah.
You know, and if you can have all of those things and everyone's going to those things, then you have multiple streams of income to where that $100 coming from one streaming service could be 100 from 20 different, you know, so it adds up. But I think the artist is being exploited.
No question. No question. And that's why I think most artists now are really focusing on the tour aspect of it. Yes. And they're making the music obviously so that they have something to tour for. But, you know, obviously the touring and the merchandise and the other pies are way more valuable and important than the music itself. That's really just a vehicle to get to be able to do all the other things that are going to generate
tangible now. Like you said, you know, back in the day it was albums. Now you get to really see us and purchase that stuff in person.
Yeah.
Yes, you get everything with the touring is all tangible. You get to see them. You get to experience them, get to talk to them. So it's a completely different package. And that's where I think you're saved. And that's what I'm all into, really. It's just performing and just making music. You know, the other aspect of it, like the screen is an odd thing to me. You know, having that separation, it doesn't feel organic, but I try my best, to be honest, you know. So
what about you, Tim? How do you feel about this whole digital versus tangible?
Well, I'm a little older than some of these guys, so I remember a point in time where the harder rock bands did not have distribution through the regular outlets in the store. So Capitol Records and a few other record companies got together and put a company together, and it was under Capitol, they would mail out these things and you could check the box and order your records. They would mail them to your house, and it was a subscription service. So you get your first 10 albums for a penny, and then every month from then they start sending them to you at $60.
I know exactly what you're talking, man. Yeah. I used to join those places, then quit, and then they'd send you a thing. Please come back for 10 albums for a penny, man. Yeah. Oh man, I used to get so many records from. It was BMG. I know that you're talking about, and Columbia House was the other one. I know you're talking
Columbia
about.
House. Yeah, exactly. And so from that to where we are today, I can see the good of it, but what it's done is it's created a larger separation financially between the bigger acts and acts like ours that are trying to get bigger. You know, you can take someone like a Metallica that can get 20 million streams and go out and get, you know, average $100 a head for a show with 20,000 people, and they're killing it. Whereas we have to take the whatever 0.00015, whatever it is per stream, and pray to God we get 10,000 a month, and then try to do something with that. And it's really tough, but it makes us work harder. Right. You know, we're in a situation where we can't change the industry.
No, definitely not.
Seen bands that have tried, and it doesn't even work when you're very famous. So we are very much down with the industry, and we're working hard to keep creating great music. You know, I was watching another podcast, ironically, the other day by a guy that's really big in the business, not an artist, but a management guy. And he made some kind of comment about, you know, just work on the music and make it the best you can make it, and everything else, let it take care of itself. And so we have, you know, record company and management and all that work hard to try to help us. At the end of the day, our focus as a band is to make the best music that we can for the people that'll take the time to listen to it. And we appreciate every single one.
Absolutely. And having that communal experience of actually going to a show is way different than even buying a record or any of that other stuff. Going to a show, man, all the other stuff outside, you know, the political stuff, the you know, anything else but the music is what's important. And when you're in that environment, you're watching a band, all that other stuff fades away, and you're just watching the band and you're listening to what they're doing and you're watching them play. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing at all like that experience. So that's really cool.
That's our goal each night. When you come to see the Engineered Society Project, you know, our goal is that whatever you have outside of the show stays out there, and you can come in and have a great time, get some entertainment with some great music, great singing, and a positive message. And that's just really important to us. And that's something we try to achieve every night.
Absolutely. Now you guys are headed overseas. Jojo was saying earlier off the before we started with the recording, you're headed over to Germany and all these other cool places. Now, is this your first time headed to play outside of the States, or have you guys done this before?
Yeah.
I was in a band in England at one time. I was in a band called Stay of Execution, but I've only been to England. I've never been to any other part
Cool. So this would be a first. What about you, Jojo?
of Europe. Yeah.
Never been to Europe at all, ever?
Yeah, never been over there. Never
Awesome.
performed anywhere over there. Never even did.
You're gonna
Wanted to go, but no one that I know personally wants to go. So I'm like,
well, this is a perfect opportunity, right? You get to go and play.
absolutely the best of both worlds, man.
And man, you know, out there, it's such a different. They really love music.
Yes.
Overseas, like it's a totally different animal entirely. What about you, Tim?
I have been all over the world, but I've never performed outside of the United States. And so we're very excited to go to Europe. We'll be in Germany, Poland, Netherlands, Switzerland. I'm not sure where else. And then
That's awesome. That's
we're
awesome.
looking at opportunities that may be coming in 2024 to go to Japan.
That would be stellar.
So we're going to try to take this show as many places as we can.
Absolutely. And you know, again, this comes back to this. There is, you know, it talks about universal languages and stuff. Music is a universal language. It doesn't matter if you're from Japan or California, or music touches you in a certain way in your soul, man. And it doesn't really matter where you're from, you know. It's about what resonates with you, you know.
Yeah.
Doing open art, man. That was the best part of doing the radio station for the time that I did it, was meeting bands from all over the planet. And I mean, literally all over the planet. And it's always the same conversation. It's like, yeah, well, music is like so important. And it's like, man, this is a universal truth. It's a universal language. And it's just awesome. What were you going to say, Chris?
I don't even remember, man. I like to get, and I also just want to make sure we pull, I introduced Timothy Moss, T-Bone on bass. I introduced Vettis, Jojo Brown on guitar, and then I didn't introduce Shaka.
Oh, that's right, you did not.
Sean Salinas on our drums. He's the guy that holds us down, man. He's like our backbeat.
Yeah, man, he's got his stuff on mute. He's got to turn off the mute.
Always on mute. Sean, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry.
Oh, good. Oh, good. What about you? How do you feel, Sean? Welcome back to our conversation, drummer of Engineers Society Project. How do you feel about this whole digital versus tangible stuff? I mean, where do you come in at?
Man, I think the cool thing is that vinyl has made a strong comeback, and
Huge, man, huge.
I know it well because my daughter's like a huge collector now, so I get to fund this whole collection. But
Right.
anyway. I think it's really cool that vinyls make a strong comeback. But yeah, I mean, and I think the industry is about to change. It sounds like in the next few years, because the artist is getting, you know, the short end of the stick on royalties or you know, all the streaming, like you guys say. But yeah, I've been listening. I've been here. But but anyways, yeah, hopefully the industry will kind of work itself out here in the next couple of years, and the artists will start getting what they work hard for, you know. So taking the shaft for sure right now, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. And it's not, I mean, is it really that much different from getting cents on the dollar every CD that was sold? Probably not really, but it just feels worse for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. It'll work itself out. I'm not worried, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, absolutely. So when you guys go about making like a new song, you said you're recording a new album. How does that work? Chris, do you come up with the lyrics first? Do you let these guys come up with the music first? Chris, I don't know if I've ever asked you this in all the 14 years. Do you play an instrument or do you just use vocals?
Sometimes when I'm creating, I'll use a keyboard, but
All right.
usually I literally will, and actually this has been happening a lot lately. It's around 4 a.m. in the morning, and I will hear a melody, and I'll be like, it's just another melody. Then it will just keep on going. And I'll say, all right, already. And I have to get up and record it. And a lot of my songs come in dreams now. And this band is multi-talented. You know, we can write a song off of JoJo's riff. We can write a song off T-Bone's T-Bone writes too. He has actually one of our newest songs T-Bone wrote. Shaka came to me just recently with this, because right now we're in the process of writing our sophomore release.
Yeah, right.
And all sort of like, budding with creativity. And Shaka came to me with this song, which I think is called Breathe In. And I think it's just amazing. So everybody in this band is melodic. Everybody has ideas, and we're completely the United Nations on it. And whether we do it from a guitar riff, from a drum sound, the bass player has a melody, really, I love that it's open that way, because I like to write over stuff, and I also like to write. So anyway, and I think that's the best situation, is when everybody has that potential to light the spark, and then we can turn it into a big fire.
Well, absolutely, man. Because especially got all these different talented people, like you said. It'd be foolish to like try to stifle or be like, nah, like. And it's cool to have a discussion and just be like, that's gonna work and that's gonna work.
That's definitely, you hear about the bands that get in situations where someone dictates, and you can even see, even if it works, someone might feel slighted because their idea didn't come to fruition. So you really want to make sure everybody feels like they're inputting, everybody feels like they're part of it. And really just recently, I think, as we're a brand new band, but we're starting to focus where we fit in and the best way to market us, and the best way. We're just figuring all this stuff out, in the conversations about how the internet is set up and digital marketing versus seeing a live band. I think, hey man, here we are this now, and you got to figure out how to do it. You got to figure out how to get there. You have to figure out what's going to get us to the cover of the Rolling Stone. And that's what we're doing right now. We're figuring out our strengths, our weaknesses, and we're trying to figure out how to, make our game plan to where it's most effective. And that ties in our record label right now, which is Combat Records. That's with my brother, Christian Lawrence, aka Opus, the dopest, who actually tonight, for all you hardcore heads, anybody who listens to us, is filling in as drummer for a band called the Cro-Mags.
Wow, that's awesome. Holy crap. That's crazy.
So legendary. Like, I'm from the hardcore punk scene in New York City. And I remember being like a 13-year-old kid at CBGB's, and Blondie was there, and Harley was there. This singer was there, and he knows everybody. Like, the guy that Opus is playing with tonight is like a legend in the scene that I come from. And he's like, I think he played drums. I don't know if it was for Blondie or one of those people, like one of the founding members of punk. Wow. So that's our record label, Combat Records, which has distribution through Von Artist, which is Larry Touring, which is another brother of ours. We have a really good network, we're definitely family orientated right now. We're in with Combat Records, Mindsnap Music, and Von Artists Limited.
Yeah, man. And that sort of stuff is super important because, especially as a band, like, you should be really focused on making the art, because your guys are artists, and like all this other stuff really needs to be handled by a great management company. And it sure sounds like at this point you got somebody who's got your back. It's like, hey, why don't we try this, and let's do this, and let's look at this aspect of things, and you guys can do the art side of stuff. And that's really great to hear, man.
Most definitely. And anything they don't do, we want to fill in, and we're trying to figure out how to do that as well.
Sure.
Like, we want to rise to the top, man. We're headed to Europe with a band called Lord Bishop Rocks, and Lord Bishop is our European ambassador. He's cool. The guy who's bringing us over, setting up all our stuff, getting us to the clubs and all that kind of stuff. But really, optimally, like Tim is talking about Japan, we have some possibilities of coming your way.
Nice. Let me know. I'll be out there, dude. That.
Next year, we want to talk about some Northeast shows. So really, if you talk about optimization of your product, right now we feel like we're making a high level product, and we want to give it where it's best received. And right now, going to Europe and sort of showing the United States, like, wow, we're going to Europe and they're going crazy for us. Then we want to come back to America and freaking blow this place up, blow Japan up, and just show all the different networks that we really have a high level product here, man.
Yeah, that it's good music that's going to resonate with all the people that you're seeing. That's rad, man. Awesome. So now, obviously, you guys have done some shows. Any of you guys, any pre-show rituals, things that you got to do before the show? What about after the show? Anything you got to do after the show? I mean,
Usually for me, I have to walk around the whole facility, inside and out, just get a scope of the vibe of the venue. Just,
okay.
I don't know, sometimes there's like a poster or a picture, something random that'll catch my eye, and I'll just focus on that. And that's what will link me to certain venues.
Right.
Other than that, that's it. Just your typical warming up,
Sure,
just
of course.
fingers or stretching, but nothing hardcore.
Right.
Well, right there, what I'd like to say is that I met Vettis and I met him, and he's a very soft-spoken Southern man. He comes up to you, he's very polite. He's like, how you doing? He's got a Southern accent. When that dude gets on stage, it happens. And I really appreciate it because Bob, you know me, Knob, you know me, I love the stage and I love just sort of like, I was a tap dancing singer when I was 5. So I really appreciate talking to JoJo Brown and then meeting Vettis when we get on stage. Is that how to pronounce it, JoJo?
Vettis is how it's interesting that you bring that up.
I say Vetus.
So Vettis. When I talked to JoJo Brown, me and JoJo Brown were talking before shows. He's really like this, really soft-spoken. Then, and you all got to come see, you meet Vettis.
Yeah.
Vetus.
Vetus.
Vetus. Hey, Vetus.
God damn it, Vetus. Right, just.
Yeah, JoJo does open up a can on stage, man, and Chris has nailed it because he's real soft and real cool on the side. Then he gets on the stage and the beast is unleashed.
What about you, Chris? You got any like pre-show rituals? I don't think so. Not that I remember. You got anything you have to get done before the show starts?
And actually, that's something that me and Shaka are actually looking into right now. And I think, I was an orphan when I was like 9. So when I'm in the band becomes my family. And we've already had some family-esque experiences where we've all like been supportive. Something happens, like one of us like broke one of our bones, and you have those type of like experiences where it's like a brotherhood, and band definitely becomes my surrogate family. And sometimes I hate to admit it, but it's definitely the way it is. And me and Shaka are starting to investigate. I do some work. I do some yoga, breathing techniques, meditation techniques.
Yeah, man. You've been doing that forever.
Yeah, I love to do that with the people I work with. I believe that the people that meditate or de-stress together have a lot more chance to be able to be successful and be relaxed and be connected together. And me and Shaka have sort of been investigating that. And but that's really my ritual before I get on stage. I do a technique called Sudarshan Kriya, which I learned through The Art of Living from His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. I'm a lifelong martial artist. I've been a martial artist since I was very young. I was in some very unfortunate places where I lived where you had to throw hands when I was very young. So I learned boxing, I learned Muay Thai. Internal martial arts are my way to prepare for something like stage. And I do what I believe, and I've investigated this. I've really looked into a lot of different things. I believe I do the most powerful technique of relaxing my mind, of really being able to focus and just be 100% with my brothers when we're on stage. And that's called Sudarshan Kriya. And I learned it from a group called The Art of Living.
Cool. Very cool. What about you, Tim?
No, I don't really have any rituals. I mean, the truth is right now we don't really have a road manager with us. So a lot of the business side of what we do, I take care of with my wife, Karen.
Gotcha.
And so a lot of times before the shows, those duties kind of call me in, and I don't always get the same time to hang out with Chris and JoJo and Sean, but that's pretty much the business.
Somebody got to do the business too, bro. So you're holding it down.
Yeah. So we all have different roles that we have to play.
Right.
Chris is more of our online marketing guy because he's got a great personality. He's a lot of fun to talk to. I'm more of the behind the scenes guide that takes care of
right.
Now, as Tim says this, you have to realize Tim freaking drives the bus.
Right. Tim, I was doing the video. I saw that. I was like, hey, that's good. You know, hey, again, you got to have somebody.
Tim handles all this stuff. He has the rehearsal room. He has all this kind of stuff. So we're definitely in the development of trying to take some of the stuff off of Tim, so Tim can, you know, be a freaking rock star. We want him to be able to relax. We want our boy to be able to
be an artist too. Yeah.
You know, all to get a chance to be Vettis. You know, in my incarnation, I'm Shiva. When Sean busts out, he's Shaka. You know, we want Timothy to come up and be T-Bone, you know, Society Project, you know, and Vettis just let loose. We all let loose together, you know, our immortal dream of being rock, you know, royalty, man.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. So now what about Chris? Do you guys ever do covers? You ever pull a cover out? What would you cover if you guys could? I mean,
I passed that by these guys and I got the coolest response. They said, and it's so cool to be around. In fact, I mean, Tim is like anti-covers, and I think that's the coolest thing because there's so many other projects I've been in where everybody wants to do other people's music, and I personally after I've done it for so long, I see the value in it. But at the same time, being around people that want to create the future is much more interesting. You know, saying, I forgot what cover I wanted to do. I had a bunch of ideas for covers. And when you approach your band with a cover and they go, you're looking at somebody who wants to go, no, man, I'd rather write the future than repeat the future. Because rock and roll is forever expanding, and it really is what's new. So we're really writing the future right now.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's cool. You know, you're right. There are a lot of bands that, you know, will go the other way and only want to do covers because, you know, you can make good money being a cover band. Personally, if I was ever in a band, I don't think that would be for me. You know, I'm not looking to do somebody else's thing. They already did it. Why am I doing it? They should be doing it. Oh, that band's gone, and then they're gone. That's it. You can't see it no more. I'm not going to like try to be the Doors or the, you know, whatever. Like, that's just ridiculous. If I want to see that band, well, I missed it. I missed my opportunity, and that's that. That's not to say there aren't some bands that really could throw down the cover, and it's just like, listen, you ain't whoever you're trying to be, or like these tribute bands. It's like, you're not that band. You're just a tribute band, and I get it. You're making money, but you're not really making music and art. You're just playing. You're a jukebox. You know, I like the idea of creating new content. I could definitely see that coming out of your mouth, man. That makes sense.
And I can tell you, being on the business side of it, a lot of the, you know, so-called tribute bands, they have fabulous players, singers, they're great talent.
Yeah.
And, you know, and perhaps sometimes a good part of them need to be reminded that they're not the band they're so-called tributing. But the cost of Engineered Society project far outweighs what most tribute bands make. So we don't consider doing covers. We are in the music business, and that business is about writing original material, selling records, and touring around the world. And you know, we're going to spend our time doing that.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, sometimes, and this is just devil's advocate, sometimes a band will put out a cover and they'll be discovered because of that cover and then revered as a band. So I'm just throwing that out there as an idea. I mean, there's lots of bands that have gone and covered something, and now all of a sudden they got a lot more ears on them because of that cover. And people go, oh, I love that song. Oh, you know what? This band is actually pretty good. Oh, let me go back and look at their catalog. So I'm just, you know, both ways are there's positives and negatives for both things. But
I like when Alien Ant Farm did what's the Michael Jackson song?
Annie, are you okay? Are you
yeah,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. They did a
yeah,
great job on that. That was a jam.
yeah, absolutely. And you know, became like everybody knows them for that, which is sort of a shame because they do have other songs. So again, it's that double-edged sword, man. You could potentially, you know, be known as the band that covers Michael Jackson. It's like, ah, man, we're not even like our own band. We're like the band that covers some other band. This is lame, you know.
Well,
So
and that's the thing. It's like, was their original stuff like good enough to like actually, do something? Because I personally never heard anything else from them. I would like to, but it was
right,
like they probably have some good stuff. I just haven't checked it out.
right,
But I was always kind of like, where's their follow up? Where's the,
right,
you
right.
know?
You're right, man. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Again, it's one of those double-edged swords, man. You just never, you know, and then it's picking the right cover and putting it out at the right time. I mean, all that stuff is like, you know, just like playing your own. I mean, just like making your own music, putting it out at the right time and doing the thing. And all right, so here's a good question for y'all. We'll go around the room, the proverbial room here. If you could tour with any band, and I'm talking any band, dead or alive, I don't care if they're around or not, what band would you just poop yourself if you were like, man, I'm on tour with X? Jojo, who would you go out on tour with if you could?
You put me on the spot first, but
Yeah.
I think, man, so many. The first thing that popped in my head was Metallica.
Oh my god, dude! I just saw them with my
Same
13-year-old
here.
son. I just saw them in Jersey with my 13-year-old, and bro,
Hmm.
I've seen them a bunch of times. They're my favorite band in the whole world. They were for 60-year-old dudes. They were incredible. I was like, wow, sincerely, like they were just really like,
That's
yeah,
the thing, it's like they're more relevant now than when I first started getting into them, which was whenever Saint Anger came out.
right,
And I remember that being such a huge letdown because at that time, like in high school, I used to play along to all their albums, like the
right,
first three or four, just from beginning to end. I used to also play one of their, damn, I forgot what live album it was. I used to come home from school, pop in the VHS, plug in my guitar, and I would play through the whole show.
right.
And so never have I ever thought that they would ever be that big again. I thought it was just in the past. Oh, they're old, whatever. Saint Anger came
Man,
out, everyone hated it. And now look, 20 years later, they've
that new album is good, bro. 72 Seasons is no
yeah, it
joke.
is good. Yeah, it's
Really good. It's fast. It's mean, you know. And bro, I mean, there was 80,000 plus at the MetLife Stadium, bro, all singing along and going crazy. And my 13-year-old, he's been to so many shows since he was little, and he was like, "Dad, this is insane. Like I never been nothing like this where there's everybody screaming and singing along." And I'm like, it doesn't matter where you came from, what you were doing 5 minutes before this show. We're all here to sing along and rock out, and like it was awesome, man.
And their stage is crazy. That's
Yeah,
another.
nuts.
Ripped off, guys. I completely got ripped off. I played with Metallica and I was backstage and it sounded horrible. So literally I have to see Metallica because I got ripped off. It was Woodstock 99 and I was there backstage during their set and it sounded like a bunch of people fighting in a drum case,
Right.
which is where I was standing or whatever. So, I mean, the Immortal Metallica, I was there and I was going, this sounds horrible. I'm like, dude, you can't judge anything from standing backstage.
Right. Well,
Exactly.
what band would you go out on tour with, Chris? You've been all around the world. What band would you like just be beside yourself?
Immediately when you said it, the band came to mind and you said Dead or Alive, dude. So I'm going to go with Van Halen, baby.
Oh man, forget about it, dude. Eddie was a genius, a legitimate. Like people don't even realize how much of a genius that dude was, and how much he changed, like amplifiers and guitars and tone. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, the big lesson for a band, like right now, you look at the story, I'm really into documentaries, and you basically have to realize that you just have to see your vision. If you get together with people that you believe in, You have to understand that people are not perfect, that you're always not going to be, there's going to be a honeymoon period. Then there's going to be times when you're like in uncomfortable situations together, and your feelings or whatever could be amplified in different ways. And that's where, when Van Halen breaks up and David Lee Roth goes back to being an EMT, I'm like, dude, I don't care what you feel about Eddie. Just get on stage. Forget about it's almost like not being impersonal, but just, you guys belong on stage together. You guys belong in the studio together. And I think everybody should really see the Van Halen documentary, because all the solo stuff, and I'm not it's not like I'm not a Hagar fan. I think Hagar Halen was a great band, but it was not Van Halen. I think if you heard Hagar's stuff separately, I'd say that's a really good band, but it's not Van Halen, man. Van Halen.
Yeah, and David Lee Roth was like Van Halen, like changed his guitar style to match David Lee Roth. So David Lee Roth would be like, dude, and Van Halen's like on the guitar, like making it so that it worked together. Totally changed his whole style of playing because he was listening to this maniac who's just like doing this crazy stuff, and like, it's nuts, man. That's a good pick. Good pick. What about
just chemistry, and it's just basically, you have to, like I told you, I look for magic. You know, when I walked in the room, when I walked into Tim's rehearsal room, I felt what was going on there. And then I learned all their songs, and I said, yeah, man, there's a bunch of other things that I was possibly going to do. And I was like, nah, man, because they weren't that feeling, you know, that tingling in your sack. You know, you're sitting there going, all right, that's what I want to bring to the world. That's the magic there. And obviously Van Halen is magic. But like I said, I would love to tour them. You never could. I mean, it's
right. But it's just hypothetical. That's cool. That's a good answer, though, man. That's a good answer.
The thing I take away from it is bands need to see that even they reached the pinnacle and they still were going through all this stuff backstage. And I would just say to every band, it's like, forget about that stuff. Would you rather be working at Quickie Mart, or would you rather be at Van Halen, man? Like,
kidding, right?
And it's the best job in the world.
What about you, Tim? If you could go on tour with any band, dead or alive, who you going on tour with?
Well, I'd first like to say that the band that I'm in now would be my first choice.
Well, of course, we all know that. That's a given answer.
When I think about people that I've either played with or that I really love playing with, it's just always been a big fan. First guy comes to mind is Vinny Appice. So Last in Line would be a band that I would love to tour with. I've always enjoyed that band, and I think they're all consummate professionals. And then Ripper, what he's doing with KK right now is good. And so I think about people that you know I know and that we've played with and stuff, that I really have a great deal of respect, and I think they really set the bar in the industry for talent and what they're doing. And those two guys come to mind, whatever they're doing.
And you play bass, right?
Yeah.
Who's the best bass player in the world?
Depends on what type of music. There's so many.
For rock, who's the guy? Who's the one?
My favorite guy was the guy that taught me how to play, Jay Davis. He played with Vinny and Axis. We grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana. Nice. Great bass player, played with Rod Stewart and all these other people. Great guy. You know, I came up at a different time where the world was not so in your living room. So the only people that I had to look up with was people that I knew, people that I saw in the Union Hall when I was 14, 15 years old playing music.
I got you.
So these are the guys that I always thought, man, these guys are they hung the moon.
Right, for sure. All right, Shaka, what about you, man? If you can go out on tour with any band, dead or alive, who you going on tour with?
Man, well, like Vetus over there, Metallica came to mind first of all. I first saw them in '88 at Monsters of Rock here in Houston. And they just blew the doors off. There's 60,000 dudes without shirts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They came out to Battery. And it was so tight. And it was just
bro,
super tight. I turn around, there's 60,000 dudes bumping their fists in the air. I was like, major impact.
That's nuts. Yeah, no doubt.
But really, since Vita said Metallica, I'm going to have to go with Kiss, because Kiss is the reason I started playing drums.
Man, Kiss, Kiss, they're not the greatest of musicians, but man, what they did is historical, man. Like,
yeah,
they have longevity because not just their music touches their, I mean, they have fans all over the world, man. There's an army of people that love that band.
Totally, bro. And that was the first rock concert I saw at age 7, right? And then I bought tickets to see their supposed to be their last tour here in like November, or the end of the road tour, they're calling it. Right. I saw their farewell tour 25 years ago in 96, was it? So they're the most brilliant businessmen on the planet.
No
to have a 25-year like run. That was longer than the original
Just
Kiss
run.
run.
Yeah,
Which
right.
I'm a 70s guy. I love Kiss, like vintage Kiss, like 73 to 76, 77.
Destroyer and Love Gun and whatnot. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, man. I love that stuff. I still do. I'm still like a big kid. So
yeah, man. I'm telling you, Gene Simmons is a genius. That dude put his mark on everything. There is not a thing out there in the world that there is not a Kiss something. You know,
they got the Kiss condoms and they got the Kiss casket, so they get you going and they get you coming. That's what Gene
absolutely
said.
Yeah. As a genius, man, genius. And like, again, those songs are real simple when you break them down. They're very simple, but like they're catchy and people can sing along to them and they feel like they're part of that communal experience, part of the army. Bro, that's what it's all about.
Totally, man.
Good answer.
Yeah, totally, bro. Thank you.
Keep on shouting, you keep on shouting.
Oh yeah, those are hit songs. I mean,
bro, they're hits, bro. Like, I just said that, and you knew exactly what song I was talking about.
Right.
That's 2 words. I ran 2 lines, and you knew exactly what I was talking about. Yeah.
I actually don't like the vocal. I guess I don't really like Paul Stanley's voice, but literally, I think that "You Keep on Shouting, I Want to Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day" is one of it might be the best one. Let's say one of the best written songs ever. I mean,
as far as like what it's about and like just the simplicity of it all and the anthemness of it all and the ability for the fans to sing along, absolutely, bro. You're not wrong.
But even like the production, I'm not really a big production. I'm not a big fan of the playing, but that is a monstrous, monumental hit song in rock and roll history.
Yeah, that like other people can point to and go, yeah, that's the reason I started.
Yeah.
Right on. So you guys excited or what? When are you leaving for Germany?
27th.
27th. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're getting all your stuff in order now.
Yeah.
What do you got? This is what you do for a living? Or I mean, because I know I couldn't just be like, hey boss, I'm going to Germany.
I did.
Oh yeah, we do what the hell we want.
That's awesome. Hey, man, work in a pretty cool place for your boss to be like, yeah, that's cool, go ahead. That's
like, so when are you coming back? I'm like, I don't really know. I'll let you know. They're like, all right,
see you next year, bro.
Yeah, but that's cool as hell, man. Because like, some bosses would be like, get out of here,
Get the hell out of here.
But that's cool that you're able to do that and like have this kick-ass experience. You guys are gonna have a blast out there for sure. I know, the scene is so different, man. The fans out there, they truly appreciate rock in such a different way than in the States.
I want to learn some German, and basically what keeps coming to mind, and I'm worried about it, is du hast, du hast been trying. And literally, I don't want to be over there and by mistake be stuck with like some German people, because that song is all about negativity, isn't it? Like about
pretty much. Do you hate me is what it means. Do you hate me is what it is.
Literally, you're walking up going, you don't know the language, you're going, do you hate me? Like, that's something
don't say that.
They might laugh at you and like get the humor of it, but yeah, I would be very careful what.
Exactly.
It shows how powerful music is, because like that's the only thing I know, because I learned it through a song. And so literally some other melodies on my like speaking to Deutsch. I got to get some other German dialect or something to say, you know.
Dude, they have all these apps now on your phone, bro, that will like translate for you in real time and stuff. So like utilize the tech. You know, there's stuff like that now where just it'll translate whatever somebody's saying to you right into real time into English, and then you could speak right into it and it'll translate back to German for you. There's apps for that, bro. It's crazy.
Oh wow.
It's
Cool.
crazy, bro. Like thank God for technology's made this whole thing so much easier, man. It's crazy. And it's just getting better and better and better. And you know, there's again positives and negatives of all that because you know technology is a thing and it just is part of our life and there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to accept it and utilize it to our advantage. And that would be a great you know place to do that is when you're out you know click a picture of a sign and have it translate for you. I mean I know there's apps for that you know.
Yeah. I want to optimize that. I want to definitely be able to relate to everybody, you know, and be able to go Specken Sie Deutsch. Does that mean do I speak German? Like that's what I want. Before I go, I've been putting it off and I definitely have to do that. I want to like have a little German sentence I can say that is like, hey, how are you?
Right.
Okay, my friend.
right. Where's the restroom? That's the one you need. That's the one that's really important is where's the bathroom, yo?
Yeah.
For sure. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure, man. This has been so much fun. I've learned a lot about your band. Everybody should check out Engineered Society Project. Of course, they're all over the web. You just type them into Google. Every possible thing of theirs comes up. I mean, I did it earlier just to make sure I wasn't missing something. And, you know, you guys are everywhere, all over the internets and webs and things. And you even have your own engineeredsocietyproject.com website. So all the things are there. It's really easy to find. I mean, what were you going to say, Chris? I don't want to cut you off.
Log up with us on Facebook. The real one to know is facebook.com/Engineered Society Project Rocks. No, Engineered Society Rocks. I'm sorry. Engineered Society Rocks. That's us on Facebook. And really, what I've been doing just spontaneously is just regularly going up now and saying it's the countdown. So we leave for Europe and we definitely want to take you on the adventure. We want, since this is our adventure, you know, and it's a new adventure for us, taking advantage of technology. This is the way I want to use technology. And this is what I think is good about it is I want to take people with us. You know, I want to click my phone really and say, hey man, I'm here in Germany. I've never been here before. And if you have never been here, check this out. This is wild.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go live for sure as often as possible. Get it recorded. Keep recordings on your phone when you come back. Put those on a disc or something like as a log of the things that you did. You know, people love that stuff, man. Again, we get to live vicariously through you guys. I don't get to go and be a rock star over in Germany for however long you guys get to go do that. So I would love to see that, man. I'm gonna be tuned in every time you go live and be like, where are they today? Like, oh, they're in Germany at some store. Like, just looking at like shoes or like even if it's the most random thing, which I know you're good at, Chris. I know you are. Dude, we've done videos before where you just walk into like AutoZone. Hi guys, what's up, everybody?
We are going to have a camera crew with us.
Oh, are you really? That's awesome. That's awesome. Good idea for sure.
Mention is that Pop Killers, that is Lord Bishop. He has a band called Lord Bishop Rocks, and Mindsnap Music / Combat Records are putting together this tour for us. And actually, Lord Bishop is coming here either afterwards. I think he's coming back. So basically, I said right in the beginning of this podcast is we want to be an international band. We want to play in Jerusalem. We want to play in Japan. We want to play in Europe. And then we want to come back home and freaking blow it up. So really
play America, play Canada. Sure, absolutely, man. South America. Why not? Why not, man? You should be everywhere for sure. I think more people should know who not only the Engineered Society Project is, but Chris, man, I've always said people should absolutely know who you are, Painted Man or not, because bro, you always bring this crazy amount of energy with you, and it looks like you've got the right group of guys with you this time who also have this crazy sense of energy of like excitement and passion about what you guys are up to, which is really cool to see.
Thank you so much, man.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Bro, I love you. You know that. You guys, it's been a pleasure. I really hope you have a great fun, safe trip out there, out in Europe and Germany and Poland and all the crazy places. It was really a pleasure meeting you guys tonight.
Man,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for taking time to talk with us. We really appreciate you doing that.
Absolutely. And of course, all the links for the Engineered Society project are going to be right on the YouTube channel right here on this very video. Just scroll down just a little bit and you'll see them. Click subscribe, do the things. You know how to work YouTube at this point. My name is Knob. That was Engineered Society project. I love you guys so much. Chris, yes, what's up?
Knob, just to reiterate, is that you just finished a music video for us called Flying the Wall. So we're basically going to ride Flying the Wall right into Europe. Today is it the 8th or 9th?
It is the 8th today.
Today is the 8th. So we're going to be releasing that soon.
Yep.
Now did us the privilege of making us a beautiful video. We'll be posting it on Facebook. Please, everybody, tune into facebook.com/Engineered Society Rocks. Keep in touch with us. Come on our adventure as we head overseas. And the Fly on the Wall is the way that we fall. We must rise and not just survive because we have the power. We have the power together. Engineered Society Project wants to bring us together because we have the power together. We have the power.
For sure. Yo, I fixed that video. I'm going to send it over to you right after this. And this way you have that, and this way we can get that up. And thank you guys again so much for hanging out with OFNR, with myself, Knob. And of course, everybody check out the Knobcast and all the other crazy stuff we have on our YouTube channel. And keep it locked because you never know when I'm going to come on and do another one of these crazy things. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Later.